Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time is going to be on Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Now, in this film, the Wakandans are determined to try and protect their home, knowing the fact that King T'Challa has died, aka the Black Panther, aka Chadwick Boseman. We follow T'Challa's sister, Shuri, I think that's what her name is. And the return of other characters, plus new characters coming in. Throughout the film, we try to figure out who exactly the new Black Panther is going to be. Some people knew, some people don't know yet if they haven't seen the film, but of course there is going to be a new Black Panther because we saw in the trailer. Of course, this film, once again, is directed by Ryan Coogler, the director of the first film. Now, when the first film came out, it got loads of praise from critics. Like, critics just absolutely adored it. It's the most acclaimed film of the MCU on Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes. I thought it was a really good film. I really enjoyed the first Black Panther. Did I feel like it was worthy of being nominated for Best Picture? Well, I think it's one of the best of the MCU films. But is the sequel any better? Is this worthy of being Best Picture as well? Definitely not. I do think it's a really good film, though. It's definitely not as good as the first film because, of course, without Chadwick Boseman, it doesn't really have as much charm to it. And it doesn't really have as much going for it. I mean, there's a lot that this film is going for. It's definitely one of the more emotional films in the MCU, which is something that the MCU has kind of been lacking of. Thor: Love and Thunder tried to emulate like both being emotional and funny at the same time, but I don't feel like it fully knew what it was trying to do. This, I feel like it knew what it was trying to do. You felt bad for these people because of their loss and stuff. Other characters have losses later down the line of characters that they knew and loved because it's one of the more deeper films in the series. Except for one character who was suffering a loss, but you really didn't know the character that much. So basically, the movie kind of struggles with adding other storylines to other characters as well. I didn't really feel like it fully worked, making the runtime a little bit too long. Now, I complain about the runtime for these types of movies way too much. Really long runtimes can be earned if the runtime is actually worth it. I don't feel like it's fully worth it here. This is definitely one of the more slower MCU films. It's definitely not as packed with action as most other ones out there. And the humor is definitely lacking, but I didn't really mind because this is supposed to be one of the more serious ones because it's trying to honor the death of a beloved character. Not just in the movie, but of course in real life. And I feel like it does a really good job of honoring Chadwick Boseman, not just as Black Panther, but as a person as well. Though they don't really talk about his death often, it's kind of to be expected because it's still trying to tell its story as well. It's still trying to give us that I don't know how to put it, but basically trying to be a flat out installment in the MCU as well, without having us to like fully think about the tragic death of Boseman. One thing a lot of people complain about is the CGI in the first movie, and I definitely do feel like it's a bit better this time around, especially with this underwater sequence that just blew me away. Like with just the music and the tone, it just fit perfectly. And one thing that I found really weird about this entire thing was the fact that, well, you know how the new Avatar movie is coming out next month, right? Well, they have people in this movie that look very similar to the people in Avatar. So it kind of makes you think that, well, not really, but it kind of makes you feel like, did the new Avatar film come early? Or is this supposed to be a crossover with that? Because that's definitely what it's going to feel like. I don't really find it to be a criticism. I just kind of find it a bit weird. And I'm not sure if James Cameron's going to sue or anything like that. But I don't know. I kind of found it a bit odd. But yeah. But in the end, guys, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, I know it is raining outside. I know it is raining outside. So please don't tell me. It's just sometimes the rain calms me down a bit. But yeah. Black Panther Wakanda Forever does a really good job of honoring Chadwick Boseman, of what made him such a good character to begin with. Even if you're not a fan of the first Black Panther, you cannot deny that Chadwick Boseman was incredible in the film. And he definitely deserves the tribute that he's given here. Also, stay after the mid-credit scene. The mid-credit scene is probably one of the most emotional mid-credit scenes I have ever seen in the MCU. There's nothing after the credits after that, so yeah, it's definitely one of the more serious ones out there, and it does a really good job of just honoring Boseman. It's definitely still a bit too long, but I think if they shaved off like 20-25 minutes, then it would have been perfect. But hey, the movie didn't feel like it was dragging on too much. There's a difference between a slow burn and a boring film. I feel like slow burns are definitely better than just flat out being boring. I mean, some people think that's the same thing, but I enjoy slow burns. As long as I'm interested in what's going on, then it really doesn't bother me. It's definitely one of the better Phase 4 MCU films, because a lot of people have been complaining about the Phase 4 MCU. I still enjoy most of the films in the Phase. It's just, yeah, they're definitely lacking. But I could say I thought this was better than Multiverse of Madness and Thor: Love and Thunder, so I definitely feel like it's one of the better ones. It's definitely not one of the greatest of the year so far, but I feel like it still does a respectable job of honoring Chadwick Boseman. And Ryan Coogler is still terrific with his direction in this one. So, yeah, I still recommend giving it a watch. It really does its best to truly honor the character, while, of course, trying to bring in new stuff to the Black Panther franchise. And apparently, Black Panther is supposed to return. Just not... yeah. But whatever, I still really enjoyed this film. So yeah, I started playing God of War Ragnarok. It's gonna take me a really long time before I can beat it. So yeah, don't expect a review anytime soon, even though I've been really enjoying the game and I already want to review it immediately. But whatever, I'll review it when I can. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.